From the Rant Radio Network, you're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis,
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. Thanks for tuning in to the Real Estate Rant Radio. Here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network, I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left here, my broker, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
Many talents.
Yeah, there we go. And our other co-host for the day,
our beautiful Lisa Lombardi.
Yes, from Chicago Title. Hello there. How are you, Miss Lisa?
I'm doing great, thank you. And I got my new glasses on today.
Right on. And you mentioned those are progressives?
Yes.
Right on. So you have to do the up and down thing. You know, that's I had to get used to those. As a matter of fact, I caught Alonso with one. We had Martha de la Chausi on, and Alonso had brought one of the fun facts in. He says, "What's the mileage rate?" So I turned my head just a bit, and it said millage rate. I was like, "That's a little different than mileage rate."
It's true. It makes me a little dizzy.
Yes.
But I think I look sexy in these glasses.
Oh,
you
sure do.
I want to think I do. You know,
you sure do.
I second
that. I second that, Lisa. I second
that.
Great.
Oh, Mr. Pantalones is on point today. What I say? Give us a call, 855-693-4897. You can also email us every day of the week, regardless of whether live or not, at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. You can win a $25 gift card if you call myself, Alonso, Lisa, or in-house today, Mr. Justin. I'm sorry. And here I go again with that last name, Potier.
Potier.
That sounds French. Is that French?
That is French.
Wow, see,
right
I'm
on
point too.
Ooh,
Mr. Justin is here. Yeah, Mr. Justin is here representing Boardwalk Properties, and that particular brokerage, they do specialize in HUD homes, and Justin will be here sharing that information with us about HUD homes, and a lot of good information, might I add. So we have a good show in store today. Give us a call at 855-693-4897. You can win that $25 gift card if you get this particular design deal, if you will, Mr. Pantalones. Compliments of Carlos Cruz and Eddie Tafoya from the Commerce Industrial Council. That $25 gift card is Stevens Steakhouse, located in the State of Commerce. You can win that particular gift card. Let's see what we got, Mr. Pantalones. And give him a few seconds to put it up. What kind of house is this? This is interesting because it took me a while to figure it out. But there you have it. And if you want to cheat, you can go on Wikipedia and get that particular thing. But if you give us a call, 855-693-4897, you can win that $25 gift card. It is a multiple choice, although we have had people make 2 wrong answers. So that's, that's one of the good things. Every week, you can email us a question or rant if you have a problem with a real estate agent, or you have a problem in real estate. You can give us a call. We'll try to figure it out, get it on the air. Mr. Alonso usually handles us for. Yeah, exactly. Mr. Alonso usually handles that for us. What do we get this week, Mr. Alonso?
This week's question comes out of with Rudy and Martha from East Los Angeles. Says the seller is unable to find a replacement property by the 60-day of escrow. It has closed. They have requested an extension for 30 days. It hasn't closed, and they have requested an extension of 30 days. We do not agree with that extension. Will we lose our appraisal fee, home inspection fee, and our deposit?
Well, is this a buyer we're talking about?
It's a buyer, and he's pretty much asking that if they'll lose their deposit and all the fees they paid already, because according to the question, it sounds to me like the seller has a contingent for them finding another property. A contingency for them finding another property, and they cannot find another property. So now, I guess they're asked for. They're
talking about the seller. The seller has to find another property.
The seller.
But they haven't found another.
They
property.
haven't found another property, so they requested another 30-day, and now the buyer doesn't want to agree with that, and they're concerned if they're going to lose their deposit.
I believe there's a contingency factor for the seller finding a piece of property, and whether or not they're going to extend that. But what do you think, Lisa? What do you think about that one?
Wow, that is kind of, I would think, well, it all depends on the contract, right? Yeah, the contract.
Good answer.
What's in the contract?
Right. I mean, yeah, but what do you think about it? I mean, I understand that, it's all contractual, and actually, because we don't have that gentleman's contract in front of us, it's hard for us to make that kind of dissertation. But what do you think about the situation? Should the buyer have to wait for the seller to find another piece of property? I guess is the real question, and whether or not they're going to lose their appraisal fee, their inspection fee, and potentially their deposit, right?
It's a trap. I believe that the deposit, they would get the deposit back, but the appraisal and the home inspection, that's not actually a service that's already provided, and most definitely not. They will not get those fees back.
So we got Alonso's answer. Lisa, you tapping out on this
I
one?
agree with Alonso on that.
No, but are you tapping out on your what is your opinion?
Well, now my opinion is, yeah, I mean, they probably would get their deposit back. I mean, it all depends on the seller, but I would think that they would get their deposit back, but they would definitely not get their appraisal, their inspection money back. And like I said, I really feel it's what's in the contract. I mean, you always have to go back to what's in the contract. And I know we don't have that, but that's why you have that.
I'm pretty sure when it was listed, it had that with that stipulation with them finding another property, and if they don't find another property, then they're not breaching the contract. I mean, and it kind of sucks because when you go back to all the conditions they put on you, you got 2 days to find a loan, you got 14 days to get a home inspection, and there's a bunch of things that are required for the buyer to do, and they comply with that, and now the seller, it's kind of like a little loophole where it's I don't want to sell my property, I kind of do and I don't, and it gives you a little bit of leeway, I say that,
watch your tone, boy.
to get out of it.
Well, what's your answer?
Well, no. I'll answer last. Justin, what do you think on that one?
Oh, wow.
Just your opinion.
They're kind of stuck in a pickle there until they find that up leg. If they can't, most likely they'll get the EMD back from the seller because they haven't fulfilled their side. But as far as the cost for the inspections and the appraisal, they're out. I mean, they might have some legal remedies to actually go after the seller for those costs. But it was outlined up front that it was conditional on that replacement property. So most likely they're going to be out that cash.
Yeah, the contract segment or portion that you were talking about, Alonso, is called the COP. It's actually the seller is notifying the buyer, right, that they are going to look for another piece of property, and it's that sale is contingent upon that sale, right? Now, you also mentioned the advertising of the property. More than likely, they advertised it, right? So the buyer knows about it.
Now,
look at Mr. Pantalones is on point today. Yeah, exactly. But
dude,
man, you're killing me with that. Anyway, so I would agree with Justin, and to the point where the earnest money deposit will probably be returned if the buyer decides not to extend the time. Okay, but in my position as an agent, and this is where a lot of the agents listening might consider this fact, or might consider this option. Okay, is that this is a negotiating piece. If the seller hasn't found a place yet, hey, Mr. Seller, would you be willing to sell it for a little bit less now? What? Because we're about to back out of this transaction. Potentially, you might not find somebody else that has the ability, number one, to buy the property, and you may have to market the property for a longer period of time. So this is a negotiating piece, right, Justin? You catch me on that?
I agree.
Yeah. So I would say absolutely give them the extra time, because yes, they're probably going to lose their appraisal fee. They're probably going to use their inspection fee. Anything else that they did inspections on. We talked to Mr. Vincent Attardo last week about the environmental stuff that was going on, and there's a potential cost there too, right?
Well, not only that is a buyer willing to sit around for another 30 days, and then what happens if they don't find a property within those 30 days? So then it becomes a cat and mouse game.
It really does.
Let's say they had his house that they sold, and then they have to be out at a certain time as well too, and then they have to go rent another house.
Not exactly.
But that's not usually contractual.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Yeah. The buyer selling their property, typically that's not something that would be contractual. But again, that would be my point to the situation, is that that's a negotiating piece, and that would be my recommendation to my client if they were my client, that hey, you know what, offer them $3,000 less for the property, and if it continues to happen, you just keep doing it, right? Because now you're being compensated for that time. So that's just my part of it. Anyway, anything else on that, guys?
That's boring.
That's pretty much.
You're boring everybody. Quit boring everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So what? We did not have a fun fact this week, huh,
yes, we did.
Oh, we do have a fun fact. Okay. All right. What do we got, Mr. Alonso?
This week's fun fact is, what famous person said this? Real estate is the best investment in the world because it's the only thing they're not making anymore.
What was the first part of it?
What famous person said this? Real estate is the best investment in the world because it is the only thing they are not making anymore.
And was there an era or time on that one, or
It's back in the 40s, I believe.
is it okay? Right on. What was the one that we
And
had?
and I believe we emailed the picture. We want to give a hint out there, and those that are old enough, they probably will get it.
Oh, right on. Okay, Mr. Pantalones, do we have the picture of that fun fact? I think Mr. Pantalones is finding that. This is actually the picture of the design deal. You guys have any idea what kind of house this is?
Looks like Scarface house.
Does it? All right. Well, this is another funny that we pulled up. Actually, you're absolutely right. The decimal point is in the wrong place, and I thought that might be appropriate for some of the talks we're going to have today about HUD homes. But yeah, definitely in the wrong place. 3750. I'll take it.
I
Right.
know, really.
Matter of fact, I'll take 10 of those. Yeah.
Well, it was really funny. One of my clients emailed me something, and I guess it was a property out in Newport Coast, and it was only 22,000. I mean, there was something wrong with that lot. I'm like, really? I'll buy it right now. Yeah.
Well, it's probably
22 million.
80% grade and on a cliff.
Yeah.
And landlocked.
Yeah,
exactly.
really.
Okay, there
There
we
it
go.
is.
You know what? I don't even recognize that person.
No.
Nobody has a
Do you
clue?
recognize them?
Oh yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
really?
Justin
Okay.
already guessed it beforehand.
Oh, okay. Right on. Right
Yeah.
on. Okay. Well, give us a call 855-693-4897, or you can rant about any real estate problem you might have, a real estate agent, or a service that you have a rant about. Right? You can ask myself, Alonso, Lisa, or Justin. Justin is here representing Boardwalk Properties and also is a listing broker for HUD Homes. So we'll be. Did I get that right, Justin?
You got that right.
Right on. And some of Justin's information will be going out during the show. You can reach Justin at justin@boardwalkluxuryhomes.com, or you can also log on to his website at www.boardwalkluxuryhomes.com and get some information. Justin is very knowledgeable in the HUD arena, and we're happy to have him here sharing that information with us.
Hold that thought. We'll be right back. Don't touch that mouse. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
Real Estate Rant and AGR Realtors are proud supporters of Michael Aguilar and Associates, advocates for stroke awareness and integrative healthcare.
In February 2012, I suffered a stroke due to high blood pressure. I was rushed to the hospital where I was admitted for the next 30 days. I was initially told I may have to stay in the hospital for about 3 months, but I made rapid improvements in my recuperation and continued to improve to this day.
When Michael left the hospital, he did not have insurance to cover his rehabilitation, so he focused on integrative healthcare to get better. At the end of 2013, seeing a need for stroke awareness, Michael started his own company, Michael Aguilar and Associates, to focus on creating awareness about the dangers of high blood pressure and stroke.
If you would like more information, please call me at 562-464-7297, or you can visit my website at www.strokeawareness101.com.
Michael Aguilar and Associates, creating awareness and saving lives one person at a time.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home, at AGR and Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AGR and Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.agrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos español. Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. And we are back here at the Real Estate Rant, here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network. I'm your host, Alex Alonso Lisa, and in-house today we have Mr. Justin. Oh, here we go again. Potier.
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 Yeah, you know, I can't believe that, you know.
I'll just say it for you after
This
this.
guy, man, I'll tell you. Mr. Pantalones is killing me. I just a quick Just a quick matter of mention. Real Estate Rant and AGR and Associates are proud sponsors of Michael Aguilar and Associates and Stroke Awareness. You can reach Mike at www.strokeawareness101.com. And you can also email Michael at michaelpaguilar@hotmail.com. Mike. What day is it today? Yes. Everybody loves that commercial. Like, have you seen that camel commercial? Yeah, that's hilarious. So I thought I'd throw that out there for Mr. Mike because, Mike's a likable guy. You know, he had a stroke a couple years ago, and he likes to go out and share his experiences with stroke and how to avoid stroke. And so I thought it was a good thing for the Real Estate Rant to cover, as us real estate agents are usually under a lot of stress.
Well, actually, one of my escrow officers just had a stroke. And
who did?
One of my escrow officers.
Oh, you're kidding
but
me.
she's doing great, though. She's doing really good now. And but you know, it was a scary thing, you know, and she's young, and I think it hits. I mean, I would think it hits women and men, but I heard that women hits a lot more.
It's more prevalent in women.
Yes.
Is it really?
Yes. That's what I heard.
I'm not gonna lie
But
to
I
you.
wanna know
Sometimes
for sure.
when I'm stressing, I feel my eye twitching. I feel it coming on. I'm like, oh my god, and it's scary. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, you just gotta lay off the sauce there once in a
No,
while.
it's stress. It's called stress.
Yeah. So anyway, we did have another question that came over. You can email us anytime at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. We won't get to the question during the show, but in subsequent shows, we'll try to answer those questions on the air. Mr. Alonso, what else do we have today?
This question comes out of South Central, and it just says confused seller. It says 1 hour before closing, I signed an addendum to remove tires from the property I am selling. There were about 6 to 8 tires that I had removed. Mysteriously, about 30 tires have appeared on the property, and it says, am I responsible for the removal? I have a witness that can state that they were not on the property on settlement day. Confused seller, South Central LA. What do you think of that one?
You want to take this one first, Lisa? What do you think?
Oh my God. Wow.
Oh, Mr. Patolis is on point today. Let me
You
tell you,
are.
he is on point. Okay, so what do you think, Lisa? What are your thoughts on that one?
And that, well, okay, kind of say that again, though. That's kind of with the tires.
There were some tires on the property.
Right.
He was under contract to take them off the property. There were 6 of them.
Right.
And then after closing, 30 more tires reappeared on the property
What does it say after closing? It says
after settlement.
I have witnesses on the property. Settlement day. It says settlement day.
That to me is closing.
Closing, yeah.
Recording, right? That's what that means.
Yeah, I mean, they should be removed
I know, but by whom?
by the seller. By the seller, if the seller said that he was going to do it, right, in the contract again.
All right.
Well, that's where the catch is.
That's Lisa's. What's your take?
I think that's where the catch is, that, you know, he actually signed the addendum to remove tires. It didn't say how many tires. And then remember also that contracts are detailed. It has a detailed exactly when you're going to turn over possession. And usually it's 2 to 3 days after it closed.
Yeah.
So according to this, I believe the seller's still liable for those tires.
Justin.
Well, I think it comes down to a purely mathematical equation. It's what's his time worth and how much time will it take him to resolve it. So if the cost is only $100 to resolve this issue, I'd rather pay the $100 than to forego maybe weeks of stress and dealing with it.
And or having to go to court, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not only that, I mean, but tires are, I mean, I believe you can't just take them to a regular dump site. That's one of the
They have to be
problems why they
disposed
got
of.
rid of, you know.
They have to be disposed
and
of,
they
yeah.
become fairly expensive to dispose.
Yes.
So that's probably somebody that was smart and had a tire shop said, you know, there was an inside job on this.
Well, it was a good.
Well,
It was a
yeah,
good
I mean,
point.
have to
Tell
have
your
a
mom to
truck
shut
and
up.
You have to have the vehicle to, to get all those tires.
I mean, and you need to have inside information, know exactly that the property was closing, and, you know, so I think there had to be an inside job on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's true. But one of the things that hasn't been mentioned is the final walkthrough of the property. Typically, the buyer is going to go to the property and make sure that some of this work that's been agreed to has been finished. The other part of it, and I learned this because of a termite issue actually, is that the actual sales contract and these separate contracts, as you mentioned an addendum, they're separate. So actually, you can have a completely separate contract, and for removal of the tires, I guess it really boils down to kind of like what Justin said. It's a mathematical equation in terms of the date on the contract. When did they say when he had to move these tires? It could be 10 days after closing. It doesn't necessarily mean that the sales contract is the dates that you're talking about. That's an assumption, right? So that's just part of it. Yeah. So anyway, give us a call 855-693-4897.
Just goes to show how crazy real estate can be. Huh?
Oh, you're not kidding about that. Give us a call. We have Mr. Justin Potier. Did I say that right? Okay. Boardwalk Properties and also a listing broker for HUD Homes. Has been for a while. Why don't we start with Mr. Justin? A little bit of background, Justin. How did you get started in real estate?
Of course, of course. I started back in 1994 actually selling title insurance. My father owned a small brokerage. He started in real estate back in 72 or 73.
41 years ago.
Yeah, he's an old guy.
Ask me how I know, because that's the year I was born.
No, he's been doing this a very long time. He specialized in REO in 79. We've worked for many clients, including Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, with Bank of America, Chase. We're fortunate enough that we landed this contract here with HUD, working as one of their local listing brokers. But I was licensed back in 2003. After I saw what real estate agents were doing, I figured, you know what, let's try a chance on the other side of the fence. Then I got my broker's license in 08.
Hey, Justin, but when you got your license, that wasn't your original passion, though. I mean, you started off with title, but when you got your license, what did your dad tell you?
You know, it's funny that you bring that up. We were talking earlier. I envisioned, you think of your parents; they're always there to provide for you. So I thought, you know what, I'd get my license, and we actually went out to lunch. And I thought I'd say, you know what, Dad, I passed my real estate exam, and he would he'd welcome me with open arms. Oh, great, son, you can work for my company.
That's what you were expecting.
That's what I was expecting.
Okay,
I was playing this all out in my head.
You're on your own. Right?
Yeah.
Swim with the shark.
Right. So then we sat down, and he said, you know what, Justin? You know what you need to do? I'm all, what, Dad? Give you my license? He's all, no. You need to go find 3 top brokerages in town and interview with each of them. And the one that gives you the best split, that's the one you take.
So that's what it boiled down to, split? Was that his recommendation?
Well, that in training. I mean, interviewed them as well.
Right
But so I cut my teeth myself.
Oh, so you actually did that?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't go work with your pop?
No, not until I got
Interesting.
my broker's license in 08.
Okay. So you're a broker now.
Yes.
Now, do you guys work together? Do you have your own brokerage now?
We both work together. Yeah. It's a blessing to work side by side with your father. It really is.
Oh, yeah, I'll say.
Yeah.
And Justin, for all the listeners out there that don't know, what is a HUD account?
Well, it's funny. HUD actually has what's known as marketing and management contracts that they put out nationally for the different regions. There's one here locally known as 5S. That's handled by BLB Resources. BLB Resources put out an RFP probably, I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago when they landed the contract here in California. We are fortunate in that RFP, a request for proposal, we were selected as one of their brokers. They actually sent out again for another RFP about a year ago, and we were selected again to continue.
What does HUD stand for?
HUD, Department of Housing and Urban Development.
You're killing me.
Yeah.
Oh, these guys are out of control.
And I know a lot of people confuse HUD and
Yeah.
FHA. Well, what's the difference between HUD and FHA?
And that's funny. Actually, FHA is older than HUD. FHA was created back in 1934. HUD was created back in, I believe it was 1965 is when HUD was created. And the creation of HUD actually rolled FHA under HUD. So HUD actually enforces FHA. FHA's specific duty is to perform loan programs or offer loan programs to individuals who are looking to purchase with a single family home or a condo. HUD does financing also, but it's more on the commercial or apartment building side, not on the individual consumer side.
Now we talked a little bit about FHA now. FHA starting off, when did you say, 1930?
1934.
34, okay. And I always understood FHA now to be a mortgage insurance. And I think you had to investigate that a little bit. So I don't mean to put you on the spot, but were you able to find that out?
Well, actually, FHA offers loans. Part of that, there is FHA insurance that's attached to those loans. And so should a homeowner default on that loan, the FHA insurance would cover that loss.
I see.
Yeah.
And so now how does that relate to HUD now? Because that's like almost 40 years later that they came about. I mean, we always look at them as being connected.
Mm-hmm.
right? And I guess that's how it is now.
Mm-hmm.
But how can they go for so long without? How can FHA exist for so long without HUD?
Well, FHA regulated itself, and then back when it was actually the Housing and Urban Development Act that was passed in the 60s, that's what rolled FHA underneath the supervision of HUD.
Nice, nice. All right. So in terms of how does it benefit now somebody to get involved in these types of loans versus, just say conventional or private financing?
And that's a nice thing about FHA loans. They offer minimum down financing. So a homeowner could purchase a home for as little as 3.5% down.
And that's one of the main reasons why someone would be attracted to that type of loan program like FHA, right? For the minimum down
That's one of
requirements.
that's one of the big reasons. And actually, oddly enough, we're actually seeing rates that are lower through FHA than through conventional products. So there's actually a benefit there.
So
Now-
that's why people would want to buy FHA. I mean, get an FHA loan because of the low down payment, right?
Correct.
Now I understand that FHA loans come with an MI. What is an MI?
That's mortgage insurance. So should the event that the homeowner default on that loan, those premiums are used to offset that loss.
It wasn't there a recent change with MI, a requirement?
In January, originally it was 1 point.
There was a 1% decrease in the MI requirement.
Well, the upfront still stays the same. It's 1.75.
Oh, I see.
But it was 1.35, and that's dropping to 0.8 or 0.85 depending on your loan to value.
Hold that thought. We'll be right back. Don't touch that mouse. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
It's one thing to own a business, it's another to promote it. That's why thousands of business owners rely on Monster Marketing Group. Design, print, mail, custom mailers, all for as little as 29 cents delivered. That includes postage. Send to a neighborhood, zip code, or an entire city. With just a simple call, 888-49-MONSTER, you can easily promote your business, sales, events, grand openings, send coupons, and much more.
Your mail delivers in as little as 5 days. No dealing with the mailing list or paperwork. Monster Marketing does all the heavy lifting. Get started now by calling 888-49-MONSTER or go to monsterng.com.
Monster Marketing Group. We deliver, we give you results, we can prove it.
It's hot out here. I need a drink. Have a mucho macho michelada.
What's a michelada?
Michelada is a Mexican Bloody Mary made with beer. All you have to do is get bucket-sized michelada, open it up, pour it in your favorite beer, and you're good.
What if you don't like beer?
You can use it in lemon lime soda, vodka with lime, or tequila with lemon lime soda.
Sounds delicious. Where do you find it?
You can find it at your favorite store, or you can go to muchomachomichelada.com.
Find us on Twitter and Facebook.
Live from the Rant Radio Network
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. And we are back here at the Real Estate Rant, here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network. Alex Alonso and Lisa here at the Real Estate Rant. And we're here to answer some questions and rants, problems if you have with a real estate agent, and or if you have a problem with real estate, you can give us a call, 855-693-4897. Let's throw up the design deal again, Mr. Pantalones, $25 gift card to Steven Steakhouse. Yeah, that's not the design deal. There we go. And if you get this particular house, you have a multiple choice question. You can also go on Wikipedia and find out what kind of house this is. Was there a picture of the other one there, Mr. Pantalones? There was a second one, I think.
That's a
that we-
Scarface house.
There we go.
That's a beautiful,
Isn't it? Can you imagine?
yes,
Can
it's
you imagine living
beautiful.
there? Isn't that nuts? And I have the answer here, and I'm thinking, let me move it out of the camera view there. But there's,
They would have to have some good eyesight.
well,
you know.
exactly. Let me move that out of the way there.
Well,
so
they can look it up.
I hate to give out a $25 gift card if somebody just happens to be peeking at the answer, but this is an interesting properties really that come up, and these are actual homes, believe it or not.
Looks like a movie star home.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that does. So anyway, so we were talking with Mr. Justin Potier, and Justin can be reached at 562 area code 480-0684, or you can email him at justin@boardwalkluxuryhomes.com. He also has a website, boardwalkluxuryhomes.com, and you can log on to that website. It's a real nice website. I actually went on there and took a look at some things. If you have a question about HUD homes or how to buy a HUD home, Justin can help you with that directly. So we were talking a little bit about the differences between FHA and HUD, and the big difference I think for real estate agents, and I'm asking you this for myself, is that does HUD have a totally different process of contracts and also offers than what we normally use with the car contracts?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So the question is, I mean, total now, when you have addendums and the original purchase contract, and I've seen contract packages up to 118, 136 pages, right?
Wow.
So HUD's contract is 1 page fillable, literally 3 pages. There's an introduction page, there's the actual contract form, and then there's an explanation page with the terms.
And it's all done online still, or
It is all done online.
Yeah, that's nice. That's
That is
nice.
nice.
I remember. I want to say 12 years ago, I bought my house through HUD. And
Really?
yeah, I brought. Believe it or not, I bought it for 115,000.
Was it with Golden Feather?
A home. It was Golden Feather back then.
Those are the old days. Yeah, those are the
Feather,
old
back
days.
in the day.
And I remember because you had a specific requirement that within 24 hours you had to take the deposit.
Mhm.
And is it still like that now?
It's not 24 hours. You have 48 hours to
48
deliver
hours.
the earnest money deposit. We like to get it in our office within 24 hours. But things are a little bit differently. There's actually commission paid to real estate brokers now, representing the buyer and the listing side, whereas before I think it was just a 5% total commission.
6%.
6% during the
6%
Golden Feather days.
Yeah.
But what's nice is they actually did an analysis of what agents were putting in for that commission side, and the 3% is what came up most of the time. So that's why HUD decided, you know what, if they're going to ask for 3%, we'll give them 3%.
Yes,
I
yes.
remember it was very frustrating getting into a HUD home back then because a lot of people would bid, like outbid, like really, really high. So of course they would end up getting those homes at that price, but then they will fall out of escrow because they didn't appraise.
Mm-hmm.
How does that change from now?
You know, there was a time where you could actually use the appraisal, but with the market that we're seeing now, the appreciation, that appraisal, a buyer just can go out and get their own appraisal now. So they're not stuck with the appraisal that HUD gets when they acquire the property.
Nice, nice. Now we talked a little bit about because we were running scenarios. Is it possible to get an FHA loan that's 20% down?
Most certainly.
Yeah, because I'm trying to understand why somebody would even want to do that.
It would be more of a rate thing, I would imagine. If conventional is higher, why not go FHA? But then you have to factor in the cost of the EMI.
Yes, yes. So let's run through a scenario. I have a buyer that's interested in buying a HUD home.
Mm-hmm.
Me as a broker, or us as brokers, there's a certain qualification that we need to do now, or do we need to belong to something with HUD in order to make an offer?
Well, there is a simple process. As a broker, you need what's known as a NAID. It's a name and address identification number. Depending on the workflow with HUD, they can process these in anywhere between as quickly as 2 weeks to maybe 8 weeks. And it varies depending on how many applications they have. Very simple process. You just go online, complete it, turn it back in, and you're good to go.
And how long does that take? How long does that process take?
Once you send it in, about 2 weeks to 8 weeks to get your NAID number. Now, once you have your NAID number, your agents just have to go online and go ahead and register underneath that NAID number, and that only takes about 5 minutes. So you can onboard a new agent, and they can be up in the system that same day.
And that allows you to do HUD offers through the computer system with that NAIDS number.
Exactly.
So now, how does HUD have inventory?
How does HUD have inventory? That's interesting because people say, HUD doesn't foreclose on homes. It's actually the lenders. So let's just say ABC Bank has an FHA loan they issue, and the individual, defaults on that loan. So they go ahead and that ABC Bank is the one that forecloses on the loan, and they realize, you know what, we want to be made whole based on the FHA insurance policy. They submit that FHA insurance policy to FHA, and in turn, that property reverts to HUD and HUD handles the disposition of it. the
Now
sale
HUD
of it.
will now HUD will give it to a broker, which like yourself, that now you're gonna market it because you're approved through HUD to market them, or how does that work?
Correct. So they'll assign it to the M&M or marketing and management contractor, and then that contractor will give it to one of their assigned brokers that they've vetted and onboarded onto their system. But there are options for the homeowner prior to them being foreclosed on. There's been a big push in the last 5 years to really help out individuals that are in trouble. There's short sale opportunities, there's deed in lieu, there's loan modifications. So there's a waterfall of options that are available to them to help them out.
Nice, nice. Well, give us a call, 855-693-4897. If you can, Mr. Pantalon, let's just throw up the design deal one more time, and we'll give the answer on the next segment as we are at the top of the hour. And, well, nobody's called in, so nobody seems to like Steven's Steakhouse for some reason.
I think we got to
I
change the
love
restaurant.
Steven's Steakhouse.
We're going to have to go give it a try ourselves. Mr. Eddie DeFoya gives a nice little stack of gift cards, so we're ready to go.
Can we read the fun fact again?
Oh,
or-
okay, yeah, let's do the fun fact, sure.
It's what famous person said this: real estate is the best investment in the world because it's the only thing they're not making anymore.
And that's this gentleman here, and it doesn't look familiar to me. I know he told me like 3 times, but I can't get it. I don't know. I don't know what that is. So
Well,
anyway,
if nobody calls in, we'll give the answer in the last segment.
right on, right on. Okay, so back to Mr. Justin. So the scenario now, I have a buyer. I get qualified now with a NAIDS number. I'm able to submit an offer. Now there are some certain requirements coming in from a buyer's agent, and also some expectations now from the buyers as well in terms of the price.
Mm-hmm.
And can you share some of that with us?
Well, and typically, HUD selects offers based on the net to HUD. So let's say we have a home on the market at $300,000, and a buyer in a typical market can offer over that, correct? They can say, you know what, I want to steal this property, and they can say, I want to offer $375, and sometimes what they'll do is they'll negotiate that back down based on the appraisal. With HUD, that's not available. So if you come in, let's say, offer $375 and it's listed at $300, you have to prove up that you've got the funds to close for that additional $75,000.
So now are they using an appraisal that they've already done on the property to establish that price?
They use a couple different ways to determine price. They use appraisals. They use broker price opinions. They use AVM. So that they collect through these 3 different options, and based on their market data, they come to a conclusion based on that price.
Well, that was one of the frustrating parts about HUD, having to win a bid by HUD, was because a lot of people were doing that. Mm-hmm. They were appraising more. They were submitting more of what the home was actually worth, but then they would improve the money, so the property would come back on the market.
And that's funny. You know, we just had a condo in Long Beach that was a HUD home in a complex that didn't have FHA approval. Most of the condo complexes have lost their approvals, right? So because it's a HUD home, you can get an FHA loan in it. But you would think that the bid price would be bid way above what it was listed at, and it wasn't. They had 3% towards buyer's closing cost, and it went for the list price. So right now, there's a lot of people that don't know about this product, and that's what makes it unique and a great opportunity for buyers.
But HUD homes are a little bit different now in terms of purchasing. I know Alonso's talking about when HUD homes are being auctioned off with Golden Feather, right? But it's a bit
Back
different
in the
now.
day.
Yeah, it's a bit different now than what
Yeah.
we're used to back then.
And I'll be honest with you, I haven't sold a HUD home in years.
Yeah. Do you think that the inventory is a lot less than it was back then when Golden Feather was managing it?
You know, I think that the inventory ebb and flows. In some markets, it picks up. I think that we'll continue to see inventory come through HUD, and it will offer opportunities for buyers and agents to either sell or buy.
So do you see the prices when someone puts an offer on a property? I mean, do you see them going over 50 to 100,000 over? Do you see that a lot?
I have not seen that, no.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it seems like HUD has already done their homework.
Right.
Like Justin said, they get an appraisal done, a BPO, and an automated value model, and that information is enough for them to really pinpoint the price of the property, and hence it becomes the value of the property at that point.
So what happens if there's certain people that bid about the same price, or maybe it's I'm sure some of them it could be only a $500 difference as well too for the bidding.
Then
right?
that $500 difference is gonna
Win.
affect it, right?
That's
Because
the
they go
that's the
by
winning
net.
bid.
They go by the net.
Well, first off,
Hold that
Right,
thought. We'll be
that's-
right back. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
ProTech Carpet Tile and Care provides professional cleaning services for carpet, tile, grout, upholstery, and fine area rugs.
ProTech technicians are professionally trained and certified cleaning and restoration experts.
We specialize in restoring damage caused by heavy soil and odor.
We can remove challenging spots such as coffee, tea, ink, gum, wine, and many more.
We have saved our customers thousands of dollars on new flooring and furniture expenses with our advanced cleaning processes.
Call for a free estimate at 562-447-4300 and visit us on our website, www.myprotechsite.com.
Hey, this is Joe Perez, owner at ProTech. Just reminding you that ProTech Carpet and Tile Care is your professional choice.
Hey, what's up, homie? What's happening?
What's up, bro?
Hey, man, are you into sports?
Oh, yeah, bro. Angels, Dodgers, Ducks all day.
Oh, yeah, you gotta listen to the Mo's Bro Sports, man. They cover LA sports.
Where can I listen, bro?
Oh, you gotta check them out on iRant Radio. That's irantradio.com or on Mo's Bro Sports on Facebook. You gotta check them out, Holmes.
Okay, bro. I'll check them out.
All right, I'll check you later, homie.
All right, man. See you later, bro.
Looking for some swag? Make sure to check out monsterclothing.com. They got everything from V-necks, t-shirts, hoodies, baby dolls. And remember, custom orders are always welcome and much more. They're just not on the site yet. www.monsterclothingco.com or call them at 888-49-MONSTER. 888-49-MONSTER. Hablamos español. Doo-doo-doo!
Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis,
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. We are back here at the Real Estate Rant. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left are my broker, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez. To my northwest here, Mr. Lisa Lombardi from Chicago Title. In-house today, we have Mr. Justin Potier from Boardwalk Properties. Again, you can reach him at 562 area code 480-0684. You can email him at justin@boardwalkluxuryhomes.com. He also has a website.
Terribly sexy.
Thank you, sir. He also has a website at www.boardwalkluxuryhomes.com. And Mr. Justin is talking to us about being a listing broker now for HUD and keeps him busy during the dry months, right, Justin? We were talking a little bit about the process of buying a HUD home and how different it really is than what we're normally used to seeing with the car contracts. They don't even use car contracts, do they?
No, they don't. It's just that one. It's basically one fillable page contract.
Nice.
Now, one of the questions I have was whom gets elected by HUD to sell properties? How do you become a HUD-approved listing broker?
That's an excellent question. The contract they get is for a specified period of time, and when that contract expires, they actually open up and re-vet everybody. And I don't want to throw out a number out there because I don't recall exactly the amount of agents that applied in California last time. I just know it was in the thousands.
So
Well,
it's
of course.
it's an application process that
Yep.
you just fill it on as luck of the draw.
It's based on, it's based on what your intentions are. You have to provide a whole marketing plan on how you're going to handle those assets, how you're going to dispose of them, and market them, and also assist HUD in meeting their goals. So I can let you know when that process opens up. I'd be more than happy
let
to.
me know. Let
Okay.
me know because I can use those extra 12 listings a year.
Yeah, I know we all can, of course. Do you ever find when you're going through the process now, this different process that we're used to, any kind of fraud coming across or any kind of fines?
It's funny. There's a lot of buyers or investors because there's a 15-day window where the properties are typically available to owner occupants. If they're insured with escrow, those are available only to those types of buyers. They're not available to investors. And investors will tell you, you know what, I will owner occupy this home. Why? Because they want the property. They know there's an option or a chance to actually get it. But if they do that, HUD is doing investigations. They could be subject to 2 years in prison and or a $250,000 fine.
My
Or
goodness.
they have to live in the property for actually like about a year. Is that still in effect or?
They've got to reside in the property. I don't know if they're going out and actually checking on individuals, but I know that some individuals have been turned into them.
And then I remember back in the days that they would give priority like to nonprofit organizations or to like policemen and teachers. Is that still happening with HUD now, or?
They do give preference to nonprofits, and also they still have that Good Neighbor Next Door program, which is the one you were referring to. It gives individuals, firemen, police,
School teachers, I believe.
and I'm missing one here. Nurses, doctors, police, firefighters, and teachers. The ability to purchase a property of up to 50% off on the home. But it's got to be in the area they service.
Yeah, well, I went onto the website on that, and I think I found one property. I mean, there's not a big selection of those properties.
But you never know. Keep your eyes open. I mean, a great way to pick up a property at a 50% discount. But you can only do it once. So it's not like a teacher can go and buy over and over and over and over again.
They become investors and forget about teaching, huh?
Right?
Yes. So now, does HUD still require condo approvals, the project approvals?
The project approvals in order to become FHA.
Yeah, to get FHA financed.
No, if the property's been foreclosed on and it's a HUD home and it's insurable with escrow, they'll allow an FHA loan on it.
I see. But how does a condo, if the project isn't approved, how does that condo get FHA financing?
Well, I believe their thought process on this is that since they own the property and they've lent on the property previously, they might as well go ahead and implement another FHA loan on it.
Yeah, because it already has the financing, so they're just going to go ahead and reissue the. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Now, Justin, what do you recommend to agents when writing an offer to HUD to win this home? What do you recommend them? Any tricks of the trade?
Well, we have an in-depth class that we put on. It's usually 2 hours, which goes into in-depth what they need to do. But for your audience, some things, simply increasing your offer. You'd be amazed how $500 or $1,000 will go a long way. Not asking for closing costs, decreasing your commission. You know what? I don't need 3%. I can do it for 2.25.
So all these are little tricks that can offset the net price, and like you told us earlier that they go by net. So the higher the net, that's the offer they're gonna accept.
Exactly.
Nice.
They want to net the most.
Now going through the process again, we're using our hypothetical buyer. So now we get under contract. Are HUD rules the same when it comes to the settlement services? Who chooses the settlement services?
Well, HUD used to choose the settlement services. They've changed that process. They allow the home buyer to choose all the services, escrow, title. Individuals can actually go online and Google HUD approved escrow, HUD HUD title and find out what's available to them, because they typically might have some special pricing if they do their due diligence.
They're not going to get you flack from the listing agent.
Not at all. Not at all.
Because man, let me tell you, on our side, like on the in the normal market, the listing agents are just out of control when it comes to that stuff. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know why. I don't know what the big deal is about all that.
Well,
Choosing title and escrow. I mean, Lisa, what's your take on that?
Well, I'm glad they do fight for us.
Oh, because your target is the listing agent, right, Lisa?
Absolutely. No, but I think the reason why is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, you guys are all brokers. I mean, I think it's because when you have that relationship and you know who the person to go to get something done and get it closed and get things eliminated, or you know, something that's on title. I mean, I think it's really important when it comes to those relationships.
I have to agree with that, with what Lisa said. There's been times where we need something done special. And Lisa.
Like
yeah.
coffee and donuts?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right? Well, not that.
Well, you're talking about like a
Just
special
kidding.
recording or
Well, and I think sometimes it's just, you know, going over and beyond at times. I mean, there's times that sometimes you don't think that, you know, an agent will call you. And I know that I've had things with you, Alex, Justin, I mean, with all of you. And I think what's really important is that you do your very best and that you try to, you know, every avenue to get something done. And I think when you are, when you have that trust, like how you clients have that trust in you to get a deal closed or making sure you're negotiating everything for them, that's exactly what I'm doing for you. And that's exactly what your escrow company is doing as well, too.
So you see it as an advantage now for the buyer to be able to pick those settlement services, knowing that they're working with an agent. They also have a similar relationship with the title company and escrow companies.
Yeah, maybe the buyer has a family friend, or maybe you know, they have someone that's in the business that, hey, you know what, I really trust this escrow person or this title company or inspector, whatever it might be. As we know, it's all about trust. And I think when you have trust in whatever you're doing, like with a contractor or a plumber, whatever it might be, I think it's great when you get that referral from someone.
Nice. And Mr. Pantalones, if I can bug you for the answer to the design deal, the answer, round of applause. Yeah, right. Drum roll, please, from the studio audience. The answer to the design deal is a Via. And take a look at that house. What do you think about that house there, Miss Lisa? The one that just popped up there on the answer. How'd you like to live in that thing?
Is that named after General Pancho Villa?
Well, actually, I have the answer right here. It's a villa was originally an ancient Roman upper class country house. Since its origins in the Roman villa, the idea and function of a villa has evolved considerably. After the fall of the Roman Republic, villas became small farming compounds. And how would you like to vacuum that thing?
Well, you wouldn't do that. You would have housekeepers.
Yeah,
and
sure.
maids
I hope so.
And
Do you
chefs.
have housekeepers? Lisa?
No.
Well,
but
there
if I had a house like that, I would. I clean my own house, unfortunately.
So we can also give the answer to the fun fact, right?
Let's read the question once again, my friend.
It's what famous person said this? Real estate is the best investment in the world because it's the only thing they're not making anymore.
And what was the answer to that?
The answer to that is Will Rogers, who began his career as a rope-throwing cowboy and later became a famous stage and film star.
I'm
didn't
trying
watch
to,
any of his movies?
I probably haven't, but I'm trying to understand the humor behind it because I'm not sure I understand that they're not making any more real estate.
Yes, they don't make that. It's land.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. Now I understand.
So
You're
once it's
talking about the
gone, it's
land.
gone.
Well, the fact is, it's a finite commodity, right?
Exactly.
There's only so much you can. Now I do understand. Thank you for that, Mr. Pantalones. So there are a few other questions I think that are important to finish off the show here with Justin. And what would you recommend to agents now when it comes to buying or selling HUD homes?
Well, I'd recommend that they go to one of our educational seminars. Aside from that, make sure that that you're familiar with the process. If not, reach out to a local listing broker that can provide you some information. They're available to walk you through the process. Make sure that you can keep in mind that we're looking for the net to HUD. So think of ways that you could position yourself and your offers to make sure that that's mindful when you submit.
So don't be as a buyer, don't be scared to tell your agent, hey, lower your commission a little bit. Help me out on the net.
You know, I'm always leery of telling a buyer to tell their agent that. I would encourage a buyer to definitely keep all options open and having an open and honest conversation with their agent regarding what can best position themselves.
And like I said, an informed buyer is it's a powerful tool. So if you're informed and you, like I said, a closed mouth don't get fed. So you want to make sure and throw it out there.
And there is a place where they can go online. It's not my website. It's actually the marketing and management website. Is it okay if I give that on the air here?
Absolutely,
sure.
yes.
It's just www.blb, Bob Larry Bob, resources with an S.com. Or they can go to www.hudhomestore.com.
Okay, well, Mr. Justin, thank you for joining us here. We're coming up on time and the end of the show. Thank you all listeners for listening to the Real Estate Rant here at the Rant Radio Network. Coming up at 5 o'clock today, we have the Three Guys Rant, and they will be ranting today about who knows what. You know, I got to tell you, those guys have absolutely no topics to talk about, and I have to give that step out to Mr. Pantalones as he was on point today on the sound effects and what have you. So thank you, Mr. Pantalones, for that.
Thanks for tuning in to Real Estate Rant Radio.
Make sure you turn in next week.
Anyway, make sure you turn in next week, same time, same place. Mike. What day is it?
Thanks for tuning in to Real Estate Rant Radio.
Make sure to join us every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
on the Rant Radio Network, where we talk about solutions to your real estate problems.
The views and opinions expressed by the host or any guest on this show are encouraged to be followed up by a professional tax advisor or attorney, as we are not qualified or authorized to give advice in two areas: legal matters and tax matters.